what he doing. I see what he doing. I see what he doing.
Ja's a smart dude.
That's
Wow.
okay. Of course, you got to put that in there. Rave reviews, y'all. Put it
Rave
on
reviews.
Yelp.
So I'm still handsome. That hasn't changed.
You said
The gas station.
Welcome to Not Right, Not Wrong, the podcast. This is Tamika, and I'm joined by Ja. Good evening, brother Ja.
Good evening, Queen. How you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
Good.
And we have Mark with us as well. How are you, Mark?
I'm truly blessed. Thank you for asking. How about you?
I'm amazing. I'm amazing.
Awesome. I agree.
It's good to see you both again. It's been a little while.
Yes.
Has anything exciting been going on? Anything we need to know about?
Just celebrating a birthday weekend with the family. That's all. Family and good friends, and also celebrating it with my two comrades here. I thank y'all for coming out and showing a brother love pre-birthday celebration. So it was all love for the past 2 weeks. So much appreciated, by you guys and also by my family. It was real nice. It was real nice. So I'm not afraid to reveal the age. I
Ooh.
have one more year before I'm out the 40s decade.
Awesome.
One last chapter.
Awesome.
And, next year I hit the big milestone. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to that.
You're getting closer and closer.
Yeah, man. So it's all good. Gen Xer is in the house. Proud to be a Gen Xer.
Respect.
We the best. I see Generation X is the best generation.
Uh-oh. Now you're gonna start generational wars. Here we go.
It's all right.
What I did
They'll be
notice,
fine.
you,
They'll be fine.
you said you're not afraid to mention the age, but then you did not actually mention the age. You said everything else, but to say the actual age. Can you say the number?
I
How
thought
does it feel?
I thought about saying what I said, people would get an idea. It's like, oh, okay, he's 49.
Oh, you did say the number.
Yeah. I figured about saying it the other way, people would catch on and be like, oh, all right, he's 49. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. I just wanted to see if it got caught in your throat when you tried to
Oh
actually say the
no,
number.
that's not me at all. That's not me at all. I'm good on that.
So, well, happy birthday again. And it was so dope hanging out with you and hanging out with all of your people. And
Indeed.
such a
I
good
know you
time.
have questions.
Well, we'll save it.
Yeah. We'll talk off air. I know you have questions.
Yeah, we
She
have
was
to.
like, wait, what? She must have said that like 4 or 5 times. Wait, what?
At least 4 or 5 times.
Out loud, but the number of times that I said it in my head, I was like, wait, because everything started out slow and easy. And I was like,
Yeah.
nice. And then things started to change. I was like, well hold on now.
Things went a little left. But not in a bad way.
No,
but in a very interesting way. Not necessarily bad, but in an interesting way.
In a very grown way. In a very
very grown way.
Grown.
Yes.
Very grown way. Very grown.
Things went a little left in a very grown way. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, in a way that's indicative of your 49 years on this planet. and the interesting people you have encountered.
Yeah,
and counting.
And counting.
Yeah, man.
Facts. Well, happy birthday again.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you.
Yeah. Mills, what about you? What do we need to know about you? What's been going on?
I'm still handsome. That hasn't changed since the last time we've done a recording. Every day I continue to count my blessings. Since we still, letting brother Josh shine, I'm gonna just keep my light dim a little bit. You know, my fellow Giants fan is in the building, so you know, since he's still shining about that 49, I'm gonna let him continue to glow. But most importantly, and keeping with everything else
Wait,
that's
John,
going
you gonna
on.
let that rock though? Okay.
The audience see my reaction. They see my reaction.
So with everything else going on in this world, D1, to answer your question, I'm truly blessed and thankful. It's so many things going on that we could speak on right now that is not our current situation. So, you know, they say the most important time in your life is the moment right now. So right now, at this very moment, this is where I decided to be here with you two, us doing this. So I'm enjoying it.
Once you said I'm still handsome, I really had a hard time listening to
Hey,
anything
listen.
that you
Hey,
said.
listen.
Oh,
Listen.
okay.
I know. I see what he doing. I see what he doing. I see what he doing. I ain't gonna say nothing, but I see what he doing.
You see it
Yeah,
though? You
I
see what's
see it.
happening?
I
I
see
see
what's
it
happening.
too. I see it too. I'm doing this. I'm doing this so I can get to that gas station. That's why I'm doing this. So I
That's
can
it,
get to
baby.
that gas station and get
Wow,
it
wow,
popping. That's
wow, wow.
that. Listen, listen. I already know. I already know.
Oh my God. So the good people watching right now have no idea what craziness you're talking about, and they are
It's
so lucky.
okay. It's okay. It's okay. We'll tell
It'll
them
be all
on
right.
one of the other podcasts
Right,
about
right.
the gas station.
Yeah. They'll have to tune in later for that one.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a little
Indeed,
Easter egg.
indeed.
Mhm. All
The
right.
gas
Hmm.
station.
So, on that note, um, I'm well. I'm well. I don't have anything
Good.
really important. There's nothing to report. Everything is going smooth and easy, and I guess that's reportable. It's
Believe
reportable
me, it
that
is.
yeah,
No,
right?
no news is
Yes.
good news.
Yes. Believe that.
You know what I'm
You know
saying?
what? I'm lying, y'all. I'm
I figured
lying.
that. I figured that. Figured
Uh
you was.
I'm 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 sorry. What? I'm sure. Okay, we'll leave that.
Gas station. Gas
Well,
station.
gas station, gas station. Okay, yeah, yeah. We'll leave
Gas
that
station.
hanging.
No doubt.
But I had so here's a little story. I in my neighborhood, right? We have alternate side of the street parking, right?
Hmm.
So I'm always confused. I never remember where I parked my car. Blah 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 blah. So I go out today hoping that I'm parked on the right side. I'm not. I'm parked on the wrong side. Go to move the car, go to pull into a parking spot, like back into a parking spot, and somebody does a swing around thing and pulls into the parking spot. I decided that I was just gonna back up and put park my car right next to their car and wait and very nicely tell this person that they parked where like they cut me off to do their maneuver. And so the person got out of the car and I rolled my window down and I'm like, hey, just so that you know, that was rude what you did. And the person goes, I'm sorry, ma'am, I don't, what are you talking about? What am I? Okay, let me tell you what I'm talking about. And so I explain what I'm talking about. And the person is like, oh, I didn't even see you. I didn't notice you. I didn't. And it was all of this stuff that kind of minimized me. Like, wow, like you didn't even see me, which I had to kind of check myself, right? So my stomach is already bubbling and boiling because I'm like, you were really pushing me. But what I realized in that moment is connected to what we wanted to talk about today is that as a Black woman moving through the world, I don't have a lot of space for the daily nonsense, right?
Mm.
The things that are kind of little that should be able to roll off your back, but sometimes hit you in a place that feel like they're so big. So all of that to say, all of the things that fill me up from one day to the next, all of the things that impact my mental health, my emotional health, my mental functioning, all of those things, I'm always trying to figure out how to manage them. I'm always figuring out what can I do to not explode, to not pop.
Mm.
So I thought this would be a cute little anecdotal story to talk about Black women and mental health. And I'm wondering what you guys think about. I have a lot to say. Of course, I'm a Black woman moving through the world, so I have a lot to say about this topic, but I'm curious about what each of you think about Black women and mental health and whatever that means to you. But before you answer, I also want to put out a disclaimer that
Okay.
for anyone who's listening, um, we are not taking a professional stance, right? We're taking a stance based on our own perspectives, our own positions. In the
Indeed.
in the true forum of not right, not wrong, we might not agree, but all of our opinions are valid. And to further that disclaimer, if you're watching this and you are in need of mental health services, this podcast is not a replacement for that. Please make sure you take care of yourself,
Please.
right?
Please do. Yep.
Please.
Please. So with
Please.
with that
Real
Please do.
talk.
disclaimer, right?
Real talk.
Real talk, real talk. This is not like there's a lot of people who are trying to get well through social media, right? Posting quotes, doing all kinds of things. I'm not judging that, but I'm saying please take care of yourself in a way that's really real.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep. Because venting on social media is only anecdotal. But seek professional help. Get a support group. Find someone to talk to. Find someone that you trust to talk to. If not a professional, find someone that you trust to talk to. Indeed. Hmm.
Facts.
Totally
Facts
agree.
and
Totally
facts.
agree.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I was about to
yes,
say, John, you
yeah,
got the
yeah.
mic.
So, um, I want to start off. I want to start off by saying that I really adhere to this quote: the black man is the most feared, and the black woman is the least respected." And I see that. I've witnessed that and seen that in my lifetime. And but, however, staying on the topic of black women and mental health, um, we need to. I think we as black men have to show empathy and compassion and support to our sisters who are in not such a good space at times in moments of their life. Um, I'm not a statistician, but I do know from personal experience, I know quite a handful of sisters who have experienced traumatic moments in their life growing up, traumatic things such as abuse, sexual abuse, and throughout their adult life, when left untreated or left unspoken, there are moments that can trigger that, and they lash out, or they suffer depression, and it's not being spoken about, it's not being attended to, and so they're handling it in the best way that they can. And sometimes they go, and sometimes sisters go down an emotional spiral, or they use a vice to help them through. And I think it needs to be emphasized and recognized more. And whatever help we as men can provide, it should be done, even if it's not trying to fix it per se, but just doing or being however that sister would like for you to be. If you know, if we as men know sisters in our life that are going through some things, be a support group, be part of the support foundation in any capacity that she needs you to be. And this is aside from her ultimately doing the due diligence to seek professional help.
Right.
It's we I believe we collectively come from a lineage of trauma.
Wow.
Because we come from a lineage of trauma. So it's for the most part, it's in our DNA. Trauma.
Yeah.
It's in our DNA. It's in our lineage. And we could be picking up trauma from our elders that's carrying into our systems and DNA, and we don't even realize it. So it's very critical. It's very critical. And again, to stay on the topic of Black men and emotional health, we have to. I would like for us to stand with sisters, do more of standing with sisters and helping them and supporting them in any way, shape, or form. Because in my experience, they damn sure stand with us.
Wow.
That's a fact. I've seen it
I
firsthand.
agree. I agree.
Yeah. So that's my take on it.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Mark, what do you think?
So, the first question that I ask, and you can answer that once I speak about my thoughts in regards to Black women's mental health. The first question was, what made you want this to be a topic for us to discuss? I'm sure this is a passion project, for lack of a better words, in regards to that. And you said that you have a lot, excuse me, a lot to speak on it. And you can answer that once I speak. The second thing I want to mention is, and I normally say this to my daughter often, that you have to take care of yourself first. You have to come first. I won't be able to help anybody unless I help myself first. So it's always going to come back around to mental health, but I have to maintain my own before I can help D1 with hers, before I can help my sister with hers, before I can help my daughter with hers. So I have to do what's right for me first in order for me to shoulder for them, whatever it is they're dealing with. Now, it may not be anything as traumatic as sexual assault or something of that nature, or abuse or something like that. It may just be something day to day, but again, I need to take care of myself first in order for me to shoulder that. So it's different things that I have to do that go back to mental health. Things you said, speak to someone, seek a therapist, and definitely during the course of this conversation, I just want everybody to know that you should definitely seek therapy. I think therapy is helpful, whether or not you do it often, weekly, monthly, yearly, however it is you do it, bi-monthly, bi-weekly. I think it's helpful to just do it. If you never do it again, I suggest you do it at least once to see what it's like. And maybe you'll grow from it and learn something new. Whether or not you go to a highly trained practitioner and it's very expensive, or you go someone and not expensive, but it's just good to have a third party that's not interested at the same time they're interested in exactly what it is that you're going through. But as it relates to Black women as a whole, I don't necessarily look at it as a Black woman thing. I just look at it as mental health and the whole spectrum and how it affects everybody. And the more you get to know someone and they confide in you and you talk to them, once you ask them how they're doing and they tell you how they're doing, now you're taking that on. I like to be in that position where if I ask someone how they're doing, I actually want to know how they're doing. Sometimes we just say that in jest.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes someone may actually tell you, well, today I got fired from my job, and my wife left me, then I fell down the steps, busted my head, I'm in the hospital now. That's a lot to take in. You may not have wanted to hear that, but if you ask, you have to be prepared for them to tell you. So once they give it to you, you have to take that on, whether or not you give advice, whether or not you just listen, or whether or not you recommend them do something, you have to take that in. So it's always going to come back around to me of you taking care of yourself first, and just mental health as a whole, not necessarily the gender or the race or the Black woman, but just as a whole, especially people within your circle. And this is not just a conversation wise, this is just have to be something that you have to adapt as a lifestyle. Other than that, us talking and doing this podcast, it'll just be talk. So anything I'm saying to you guys, if I ever ask you guys the same thing, how y'all doing, and y'all may have had one of those days, y'all give it to me, believe me, I'm prepared to take it. I'm prepared to take that on and shoulder it, whether or not you want my advice or whether or not you just want a listening ear. This is not just conversation for the sake of the podcast. This is something that I have to do and adopt as a lifestyle. And I would want you all to do the same thing as we go on about it. I think that would be the best way for us to help each other out as we go along. And people learn from us as we doing this by example. And going back to my original question in regards to D1, I wanted to know what made you want this to be a topic out of all of the things that you could have thought of. What made you want this to be a topic for us to discuss on this Not Right, Not Wrong podcast?
Well, first of all, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have so much to say in response to both what you and Ja have said already. But I'll start with your question. And I don't know that I have a simple answer, honestly. I think C1, in regards to what you said about mental health being not specific, not gender specific, not race, ethnicity, not specific in those ways, I completely agree with you that mental health, just like physical health, we all have a physical body, we all have emotional experiences. Um, Mental health, there's aspects of mental health that's, you know, impacts your specifically your mind. There's parts of mental health that impact that, you know, you're impacted by genetically. I'm not really thinking about those particular things, right? The
Okay.
where your mind is, you know, maybe neurons and all kinds of neurological words start to come into play, right? I'm more speaking about the emotional experiences. There are so many specific emotional experiences that Black women maneuver through in this world that I think some of them are not specific to Black women, right? There's some things that other women can relate to, right? But then there's these things that are specific to Black women in the Black community.
Okay.
Um, and so that's kind of where I came from when I was thinking about it, because I think some of these things are coming up more and more and more. And there are stereotypes around Black women that are really dangerous to us that other people, other groups don't deal with. And other groups have stereotypes that are specific to them. Like, I really hope that at some point we talk about Black men and mental health, because that's a whole other situation. But with
Indeed.
Black women and mental health, like this stereotype of Black women being strong and being resilient, which is specific to females and to Blackness, right? This resilience thing is Black people hear about that. And I think Black men hear strength in a different way than Black women hear about strength. But those things, those concepts have been really dangerous to us. And at some point, they became really, really heavy, and we kind of got buried underneath it, and we're trying to dig ourselves out of it. And the other aspect that's specific to Black women is that Black people, up until very recently, haven't been having conversations about mental health, right? The messages that Black people have been getting is just deal with it, keep it to yourself, nobody needs to
Suck
know,
it
keep
up.
moving, suck it up, all of this language
Yes.
about just you gotta keep moving, which is, I think that is something that Black people can relate to. Black women specifically get those messages as well, but we're also told we have to raise the family, we have to take care of the children, we have to do these things, which that begins to impact the children, right? So at some point, if we're not doing well, if we're sad, if we're depressed, if we're anxious, if we're confused, if we are emotionally not functioning well, but we're being told to continue doing everything that we were expected to do, including taking care of children, well, that becomes problematic. um and then, to Ja's point, there's this generational thing, right? There's this generational, a generational um, passing of information, passing of the torch, passing of expectations. And some of the expectations are delightful. We are strong and we are resilient, but that's not the end of our story. There's much, we're also soft. We need support. There's a whole lot to the story. But I read somewhere that if a, a grandmother, because since women are born with all of the eggs that we're ever going to have, that I was actually at some point in my grandmother's stomach as she gestated my mother.
Wow.
Which is mind blowing to think of. So there is a biological passing, transmitting of information from whatever was legitimately in my grandmother's body as she was carrying my mother is now legitimately also in my body. And that's outside of the customs, beliefs, and traditions that are passed down from generation to generation. So there's that. And then here's the last piece that I want to say for right now is what's specific to Black women in mental health is Black men. This interaction between Black men and Black women, we say we love each other, and I really do believe that we do, but in our actions it doesn't always show up. And so part of what happens for Black women is this feeling of being unsupported by Black men, which makes our situation very, very different. I don't know if white women have that same experience, but I'm seeing that change now. I'm seeing Black men risk, a lot of Black men trying really hard to figure out, how can I be there? How can I stand up for you? How can I protect you, not physically, but emotionally? Because I will tell you, there's not a Black man who I've been in relationship with, either friendship, romantically, family wise, any Black man who knew my name to call my name, I've almost never, 99% of the time, have not doubted that Black man who knew me would protect me physically. Protect me emotionally, that's a whole other ball of wax. Because I can go back, unfortunately, brothers, I can go back to almost all of those Black men who I just said would protect me physically and point out a way that they have not protected me emotionally, a way that they have actually emotionally injured me. And then I've been sat to deal with it or to take responsibility for it, and then been told by some Black men, you're too strong as a Black woman. Wait, so is strength a positive attribute or a negative attribute? Why am I being critiqued so harshly for it? Where is the empathy? Where is the understanding? And I'm seeing some of that change, and that's making me feel really, really happy, and I hope it continues. And I'm also seeing Black women really starting to support Black women more as well. I'm seeing Black women like, sister, what's going on?
Beautiful.
And really wanting to know, like, what's going on.
It's genuine.
Genuinely wait. So all of that is why I wanted to talk about this.